Okay, real talk. Why did everyone in the last video say, hey, you're gonna watch episode 2 of Glitchtale? Suffer. That is more accurately paraphrased than I feel comfortable with. I don't know what I'm getting into here, but if the comments are anything to go by, it is pain. What exactly are they aware of that I'm not? Okay, probably the rest of the series, actually, now I think about it. But just... what am I getting into here, man? I don't know. I want to find out, but there's that little voice in the back of my head going, no, you don't. No, you don't. I'm going to ignore that voice like usual. So you guys know the deal. There's a link below to the original video. Hit it up, and let's get started. A crown? Oh, Asgore. That makes sense. After Asgore admitted to killing several human children, was taken away further questioning possible criminal charges. Okay, they're just going right after that. And the crown left behind, yeah. Huh. Sorry, this is a weird little nitpick, and I can't believe I missed it before, but the lines look a lot cleaner. Like, there's still a little of the wobbliness on Frisk, but I think I mentioned him before, but it looks clean overall. It's not huge, but I think maybe it's just the eyes stand out more by comparison. That's why it stands out. Even though I know I've seen him, I know I commented he looked good, but yeah, I think it's just by comparison to Frisk's drawing, which is still good, but shows a little more of the previous, the previous season stuff. I can definitely tell that there's that little change of when they started drawing the templates. I wonder what the show would look like when it goes full crazy, like I've been told later on it does. Of course, we know it wasn't Asgore who broke the barrier, it was Asriel and... or Kara. And he's in jail. Wouldn't put Asriel at risk by telling the truth about... And Undine is the one that's, keeping him there. She's a cop, yeah. And he's a prisoner. Wow, that is a massive conflict of interest. I'm sure that won't ever go bad. Asgore wouldn't put Asgore... Even if it made things more tense between humans and monsters, taking off the band-aid. Flower? Why is there a flower appearing? How did a flower appear? Sounds okay, never mind. It was a freaking flower pun. Dr. Gaster? Bon appetit. Yeah, people told me I missed that last time. How did the mug break? And he caught it! Good catch. And she's smiling. I'm back here. Wait, what? Oh, is that little floaty thingy from Betty? Thought you were going to leave. I have questions about her, but we're not getting to them apparently. Actually, Frisk, her mom came last night and said it was okay for her to stay here a couple of days. I'll be honest, I was a little surprised about that. Not that she was allowed to stay for a couple of days. That Betty has a mom? I don't know. I, for some reason, thought she was an orphan. Not sure why. It just kind of got in my head. Okay, kids don't have parents. Maybe that's just because Frisk is kind of all on her own. Huh. They're moving somewhere else, apparently. What? So she will stay until things in her room are moved. Right? I'm probably just being too cautious here, but that seems, I think the term is sus. No, think about the timing here. I mean, it's either something really weird or it's something of a weird plot hole because, okay, we just found out literally within the really frequent time frame, monsters kill people. That's how we got here. And the very next day, by the way, can you watch my child alone with no one else around? When we know you have incredible power and you're a technological genius. And I mean, I'm sure there's literally nothing else that came out like monsters killing people that was ever in any way, shape, or form relevant. I mean, either that lady is uncontrolled, she's insane, or she is really competing with Gendo Ikari for Parent of the Year. I would have made a Full Metal Alchemist reference, but let's be honest, Gendo's better than that, so let's just leave it. Have you found anything about her soul? Why the music cut out? Reading the whole night, not even a clue. Different music choice chart. Oh. I don't know why, but Gaster, just with a tiny smile on his face, talking about things. You're a wizard that created the barrier. Just researching. I don't know why. That's just incredibly silly and happy and heartwarming to say, like, oh, he has to research things. Yeah, that's just a scientist in his natural habitat. Also, I know exactly what type of coffee machine they modeled back here, even with these small little amounts. They're amazing. They're expensive as fuck, and they are so good if you have a massive coffee addiction. I had one. I wasn't allowed to keep it because I may or may not have made mistakes in its cleanliness levels, and my wife said nope to that. In my defense, I knew I could leave it on permanently. Keep using it. I did. Up until things started melting because I made mistakes. Still kicking myself for that one. What do you learn about? Oh, he's only a pair of wizards. Read on that later. No, that seems like something you should read on now. Risk. Yeah. Was that his voice in the background?
Risk.
Okay, it's so soft by comparison to the music. I thought maybe it was actually something outside my room at first. Good to catch that. Sounds good. I've heard there are people who redubbed all of this. I would actually like to see that because this is a decent story. I just want to see what it would sound like with actual voice acting. Beyond just reading the dialogue like in the game. What do you mean? I've always noticed that AMD cameras around the city, but they don't move much. What? However, lately they've been more active than ever, as if they were looking for something. However, lately... One? Huh. Sorry, this entire background is actually more complicated than almost anything else we've seen, bar some of the main scenes. If only because they have two things going on here. Two different layers of the picture itself. So we have the camera itself with the generic AMD put on there in the same typeface that they use for everything. And then the god rays from the sun. It's a very simple background, but the fact that they made sure to blur it out to show that it's an outdoor setting is really neat. They haven't really done much of differentiating the viewing distances, so we'll see. I know, I'm geeking out over little things. I'm telling you, don't go out, of course. I know you attend Mettaton's first live report today. Oh, are they in the news? Oh. You will get really angry if you don't go. Yeah, talking about that, what?
Huh?
May I go with you? Oh my god. I'm sorry. Just Betty all going, ah! And then Frisk just going, yeah. Do it. And like the sparkles and the cool face. It just... Their face is usually so, anyways, and it's the sparkle effect. It's actually the effect of the sparkles that do it. Absolutely flat. See you later, Gaster. Who's coming? Oh, since you've met Sans and Asriel. Sans, the great detective Papyrus. And I am not even going to try and read that. I cannot blow up my screen enough to read that. But if anyone knows what it says, let me know, because I like those kind of little jokes they put down there. Unless it's actually just squiggles, in which case... Well played, video, well played.
Oh.
Someone is very upset.
Greetings.
What? Oh, Papyrus. I'm sorry. I need to see that. Just this. Okay, and yeah, there's the other eye. You know, I kind of thought maybe she was missing it, even though I now in hindsight remember that there were scenes where you saw her eye. I was really going with the entire half and half thing for the dichotomy, but they're playing it down a lot this time. It's still there, but less. Maybe I'm misreading it too much. I just, this sheer overwhelming papyrusness overwhelmed her. Even like the tiny little... Okay. The sheer whiplash. It's just perfect, man. Oh, that's the cool odd here.
Wowie.
Oh my god. Yep. Oh, what does he have on the bracelet? A fair? Oh. At least. Carnival, right? At least. Wrong. There he is. I thought it was a report, not a pop star. Oh my god, the eyes. She's got star eyes. Hello?
Yeah.
I didn't botany. Really? Botany chairs? I mean, I'm just, that joke was so bad I have a headache from it. Partially because it fits perfectly to the point I didn't realize it was a pun except for his highlights. Like, wait, botany? Oh, because it's not a misspelling, it's actually the word botany, but I just, homophones are a bitch. Sans don't. Sans, yes! Help? What? Help, please? What? Does that sound like a kitty? Why are you up there, kid? Voice acting too ugly down. I guess he has a bone to pick with kids who climbed up into nearly impossible to get ledges. What's she doing? Stock 1. Nullifies all magical or magic abilities from a monster. Extremely painful to the target. May crack the soul of the user. It links to the user's soul and uses it as a power source. Do not use it under any circumstance. Not approved by the HSO. Research cancelled. How effed up is it that they have a gun that's basically shooting in reverse? I mean, sure, it nullifies the magical abilities of monsters. On the other hand, damaging your own soul seems like a horrible trade-off for that. If that's literally the only gun you have. If there's other shit going on, which I'm sure is happening here because it's obviously a trap, that wouldn't be so bad. That is a horrible idea. And we can see exactly what she cares about there. And I'm assuming the soul part is not actually going to bother her. Because she has nothing but rage and hate. Oh shit, it actually made her bleed. He's really excited. Oh no. That reminds me. How did you meet her? Oh, it's on my way to AMD. To the AMD end. A car tried to hit her to blew up. Oh hell, more shit is happening? Oh, so apparently it's going to be a plan against Mettaton. I don't know how to say the name now I think about it. And it's going like, oh no, it fell on them. How horrible. It's too bad you can't use your magic to get out. But then the kid might not be part of the plan at all. In which case, what is going on? It almost feels like there's more than one hand organizing it then. I thought the kid was the plan.
What now?
Or it's Papyrus. Not using magic. Now press the green button to your right. No! Oh, hell. Well, this is actually somehow even more fucked up than I thought. I thought it was just a kid in a stupid location because, you know, I could perfectly see a little 5-year-old climbing up too high and doing something stupid like that. I have very low estimation for the thought process of 5-year-olds, but high estimation of their ability to get in places they absolutely shouldn't. And I'm assuming the green button is the all clear, drop it button. Ah. Yeah, probably right above a certain person going with a live report, and although they're being treated like a pop star, and that's weird. And yeah, there's nothing about a gun that could minimize the abilities of said person being dropped on. How the hell that kid got up there with either an illusion or a shape-shifting ability, I don't know, and that's the big question here, because I don't think AMD had that. Instruction was fixed. Why is the crane moving? Papyrus is an idiot. A lovable idiot. Wait, where's Papyrus? And... It was an illusion.
Got it.
Okay, yeah, push it to the side before she nullifies you. Fortunately, it's strong enough to kill him, but it'll stop him. What will it do to you, though? Oh, no. Piracy, okay? No, he's really not. Also, yeah, that lady completely lost her goddamn mind because, yeah, her kid died and now it's everyone else's problem. It's very much that in line of, okay, I'm going to hurt the monsters because they literally killed my child for revenge versus fuck everyone else surviving. I don't care who dies. Everyone's problem. It is taking it a level of understandable evil to nope, you are now too dangerous to live evil. Yeah. Don't really know how they made that illusion though. Liz, Beamer, side. He's under arrest. The murder aside, even just doing that to start with would probably put in jail. That said, if the murder was put aside, it would literally only be for one of those "why are you being an idiot" type things, as opposed to a lot of people just died. Hell, even if they knew the full circumstance, it's still unintentional manslaughter. But damn. Reset. She has the button. Hey, kid. And it's broken.
Huh?
How to sort this out? Well, I mean, she could probably determination herself into rebuilding the reset button. I don't think it's reached that point yet, considering the alternative would be them tempted into a genocide run, which is always worse. But, yeah. Wait. That car she blocked disintegrated without anything. I thought that was just because the animation didn't want to hold up to it. And that kid disintegrated into nothing because there was nothing there. Both times Betty was there, but... Also, they're showing the full face entirely now. There's none of that half-covered aspect. So at least what I thought was a visual cue is off, and I have to be misreading that. I thought it was very much, oh, I'm half-covered. I'm not actually there. It's only half of me. That's why my soul is pink, because part of it is also complete white, which is what happens when you make red and white together. So it's determination and an even mix of everything else? Is why monster souls are white? I don't know. Just... Oh, I feel like I'm missing something obvious. I don't know what it is. I hear everyone else's ideas first. Saw a little girl asking for help. After doing what I said, he felt dizzy and passed out. Oh. Now Sans got attacked by something and nullified his power. We know the power nullification. And honestly, that made AMD lady over there completely unforgivable because she knew it would only kill humans and not the monsters. Granted, it's probably the entire acceleration bullshit of, hey, well, I want them dead, so let's make the war happen sooner. Ugh, fucking idiots who believe that. But I don't get is the illusions. Was that a character I didn't know about? Or something's going on. Maybe it was that shadow person at the end. Initially thought it was Betty because the hair kind of had the same frill at the end, but maybe I'm missing something. How are you feeling, by the way? Been worse. Bone? Going back slowly, but tomorrow I should be fine. Oh, bone manifestation, yeah. I'm glad. Now I have this idea. Pirates would never do something like that, so... Yeah, because if there was flat-out mind control on him, that was weird. What is that? I'm trying to actually think about the powers of how they interact, based on a fictitious interpretation of fan fiction for a game. I'm getting way too into this, but it's fun. I'll keep doing it. Hey, if we get access to AMD's camera, we could find something. I'm sure they'll give you access. Camera recording storage room. Oh, maybe we could access the AMD cameras, find something. Yeah. Huh. That sounds nice, and I could do that. Chris can come with their idea. Or go on with their idea. So what was it? Oh yeah, I was, idea. I wanted to reset, and you can't, and that is going to be a massive problem because their biggest advantage was being able to do that until they got exactly what they wanted. Oh, yeah. It's not even that big of a deal right now, but already it's starting to look like it was a bad idea. What if I could find a way to reset? It would prevent all this mess.
What?
Oh. And because the entire reason Sans was okay with them not going down the same dark path as before, the entire reset thing was... Yeah, no, that makes sense. I just... They're even talking about...
What?
And this is the most angry he's been. All the people, Papyrus going to jail after being mind-controlled. Nah. It's not nearly as bad. And not even to be blasé about. Genocide route was everything dies. And he knew what that reset button meant. And that was the apology to him to get rid of it. So even talking about bringing it back is like, hey, remember how I was a horrible, horrible monster? I could always just do a bit of it. So he's not even wrong to react that way. But at the same time... it's understandable why they're not making a point to get the reset button back, but it'll probably have to change eventually. And see what happens after that. If I could start over, things would be better. Maybe the timeline is not glitched enough to get a race with a reset. I could. Stop.
Right there.
Oh, they actually put the lines in.
So.
Yep.
No.
Difficult situation shows up and all you can think of is to reset. Yeah, because that's literally their biggest advantage. They're hamstringing themselves, but for completely good reason, unfortunately. I need to point out why I'm hyping this up so much. Normally, whenever you have the main character with the overpowered ability gave it up, it's usually done in such a way where it's just a narrative conceit. You just have to ignore it because it's kind of stupid. It's like, well, the hero doesn't want to use this overpowered sword because it's unfair. Or Goku allowing people to power up. It's that kind of stupid. Here, though, it's intentionally kneecapping themselves because if they hadn't, they would be tempted into going literal genocide again. Have I mentioned the genocide part? Because I think I need to hype up the genocide part. This is well done. It's a way to depower someone in a way that is perfectly in-universe believable and based on how they're acting will have consequences when they eventually use it again, unless things get so bad that those consequences are acceptable. It's not at that level yet. And it does kind of show that she's kind of just looking for that hit of reset to just make all the problems go away. I love the character dynamic being set up here. Because Sans is forgiving her, except he also still remembers, which is his entire shtick. Just such a good conceit for the entire setup. I mean, let's say you attempt to reset. We don't all die and you actually go back. What will happen to Asriel? Or Gaster? You know what happened? Won't ever repeat again. That won't ever... Oh! I can find a way to bring them back again, somehow. Because it happened due to a glitch. And if you don't get bored by this, that is...
No.
Not doing that. But it's a reset to a specific time, not to any time. Okay. You wouldn't reset? Ah. I just... That's cruel, you know? Not even a pun. Making me believe I finally had a future to look forward to. All that I'm sorry talk? Yeah. Please understand. What? Broke his? Which promise? The one to forgive her, or not taking her heart back again? Or soul, sorry. Don't forget. That's what it was. And should have let me or kill me. Or Kara. That would have hurt less than this. Dick.
Asriel?
Oh. And he's using the teleport as a way to end the conversation because it just got too real. Because even proposing it was pretty nasty. I think I like this a lot more than the way that AMD lady was treating it, because hers is like, I need to murder people. So what if they murder? I need to make sure they suffer. Yeah, her motivation's way jumped out there. Granted, if she's under the same slight mind control as Papyrus was, it may or may not be entirely her fault, but that's not nearly as well demonstrated. Where Sans taking this entire I'm burning bridges thing is completely justified and understandable. So I think I like this turn to break down the situation a little more than the other one. Yeah, let's go. What's Betty doing? Oh, apparently nothing. And what's he reading? Hmm? The Tale of the Twin Siblings again. Oh. Now this is interesting. Oh. Okay, so I was going to say that I like how they're setting this up, that he was reading about the two wizards who made the barrier and how that was an entire thing early on. So finding it out now is perfectly good. It's very much lampshade, so you don't really think it's out of nowhere. It's not an asshole. But the name Twin Siblings is making me think, okay, what characters do we know that work in a dichotomy like that? The first thing that comes to mind, and I don't think is correct, is Brisk and Kara, or Kara, because, you know, they were kind of overlapping for a bit, but they weren't actually twins. They just kind of happened to be there. But now I'm thinking, and this is only because I played the game Beyond Two Souls, maybe it's Betty and that floaty orby thingy. Yeah, because that's the only other thing I can think of. And again, I'm just using Two Souls or Beyond Two Souls for reference because the entire concept was one person has a body. The other person is an amorphous spirit blob of nothing. Except for when they were embodied at the end when they were a ghost. But also got a ghost body as opposed to just being there. Yeah, it was a weird game. That's the only reason I'm thinking that. Unless there's someone else. Perhaps I'll be able to finish it this time. The language is easier to understand after all I've learned these past few days. Red and yellow. Oh. Interesting choice, because no one else had red except for Frisk, so there's that. I don't know who else had yellow. Two siblings, both powerful, responsible for creating the barrier. Wow. That really does look like Frisk. Also, I don't like Betty with the hair. I can tell more Frisk, though, just because of the bangs. Free to share the ruling of the kingdom, however, their opinions of monster kind differed. Oh? Soul of Determination wanted to destroy the barrier, while Bravery thought it was a good measure to keep the peace. Oh. So Determination wanted to destroy the barrier, which is kind of what Frisk ended up doing. Wonder if this is actually playing into... Would they... Are they playing into reincarnation as an aspect in this? That'd be different. Also, they're being confident, bravery challenged her brother. If he could prove to be more powerful than she could, he could destroy the barrier. Oh. Bravier's power was greater, but as the battle continued, she felt an incredible strength within her sibling. Like they have determination. Especially since bravery is overcoming fear and leaving the barrier up is explicitly fear. I don't think it's going that deep into the actual base of what the concepts are, but it does kind of work that way, so let's acknowledge it. And considering the barrier is still up, we know which way this went. The only other person with the reddish soul, or even pink, is Betty. The hell? Wonder if there's some relation. Previous power was greater. Sibling. Yep. And they're sweating too. His determination had no limits, leading him to victory, but he didn't destroy the barrier. Humiliated. Oh, that's gray. That has a very specific meaning. That's like a damaged soul? Someone told me about this, and I'm completely blanking out. Consequence. She lost her trade and with it her magic. Oh. Yeah. She exiled herself. Search for a trait greater than determination. Humiliated people looking for power. There's no trope like that out there about things about to go horribly wrong. And alas, she found it. Purple?
Huh.
Look, we actually ended up in the right place. He's surprised. Been a while. Word out. Recordings. Narratively, just putting that entire segment with Gaster in there just as a break from the tension might work. But doing that alone would be a complete waste of the scene. So the only reason to really bring it up now is that it has that 3-part lead-in to something happening now. My thought process here is, with how you set it up, they initially put the lampshade on, so to say, by having Gaster talk about the wizards who created it. Move forward, you have him reading about it, which I thought was cool, to lampshade. And then you say, oh, alas, she found a greater power, and you see the purple glow. The only way this makes narrative sense is if that's setting up the villain. So it's either going to be now or sometime in this episode, we're going to see the glow. Because anything after the end of this episode, the narrative thrust of that would be, honestly, kind of squandered. And so far, the story here hasn't been running into those plot holes. They've put guns on the table, the Chekhov gun on the table, and they've pulled it up and shot it off and saw what happened. Hell, that was what the beginning of this was one Chekhov gun having repercussions. The Chekhov gun, for everyone who doesn't know, is the concept in a narrative work where if you have a plot hook and you put it out there and it's like, oh, hey, here's this MacGuffin that we definitely need to be aware of. If nothing happens with it ever, you just wasted everyone's time and it's useless and you had no right to have it in there to start with. You have to acknowledge it and you have to do something with it because that's how narrative progression works. I'm thinking we're looking at our MacGuffin of that purple glow because we know it did fuck around with determination. And apparently it's greater than. But I don't know how that's going to interact. It's just that something either within this time period over here still remaining is about to show it probably. What are we looking for exactly? Light? Feeling AMD has something to do with this whole mess. Technically. I don't get the feeling they're the only ones, though. Or they did. It's all recorded. And they're probably trying to hide it somewhere. I don't know if she's worried about hiding right now. I don't give her that much thought process. How funny. This room doesn't have cameras. Sans, look. Folder has weird recordings from different places. Huh? Okay. There wasn't a car there. Why were they recording that? Honest. Oh, they're just using the exact same image, but they edited out the car. So it must have been a separate layer that they could take it out on. Well done. Huh. Was it another illusion? Change the very essence of your soul. A dangerous and forbidden spell. Showing a bit more filling in. However, she cared not for the laws of magic. She returned once more to challenge her brother. Ah. During their final confrontation, power overcame determination. And it's blotted out with pink ink. And you can actually see the text bar around it literally eroding away. Oh, that's such a cool effect. And the crazy part is, I think we've seen something like this before. She has one eye covered. What? I mean, I don't think it's Betty, but unless it is reincarnation, maybe it is. And she changed her soul, but why do I get the distinct impression? Like, we've seen this before. Not just Betty. That's not what I actually was referring to, even though I realized that. It does have that one eye look, so it might be a reference to her somehow, or whatever happened to this lady also happened to Betty. But the entire changing the chroma aspect, I don't actually know the term for it, like switching it to the negative colorization, the darker phrases like this, is what happened when we saw Kara, whatever, taking over Frisk. So whatever happened had happened before. The heart going to break. This time, instead of growing stronger, determination lost more power and the battle progressed. Going white. Half their soul was white. What? The kingdom fell into ruin destruction because of the battle. Was it like some power of corruption here? She came out victorious and stole her brother's heart. Or soul. And broke it in half. Never adapt to this sudden change. Why would Frisk summon their shield in the middle of the street? The one eye again. The heart is fucked up. I feel like I'm missing something. They're very much just playing with that Chekhov's gun right now. I don't know where it's going to happen, but something's about to be revealed. More than this. They, in front of Gaster's lab. What?
Huh?
Betty? Wasn't she sleeping at the lab when the reunion was happening? And there's the final piece. Betty either has the same power or is the previous one, and she's playing up being an absolute psychopath. Sorry, not being an absolute psychopath. My Freudian slip there. Because she's doing illusions, which is what well, maybe physical illusions? She was doing something that couldn't be recorded by the camera and may or may not have had substance. Probably not. Which, like, was the car to introduce her to Frisk, to get Frisk to trust her, to get access to AMD, where she'd started seeing this lady, so she knew who to give some kind of... Oh. If this logic holds through, then would that soul with her be the remnants of her brother's soul that she seemed to have taken and split? I feel like I'm missing information still. It's probably her, and that's the villain reveal. What's going on? She probably made an illusion of the mother. No, her time was running short, and here's what's lacking information. She sacrificed her own soul to create the most powerful and destructive being imaginable. Oh, this is even dumber than I thought. The creature whose sole purpose is to ensure that humans and monsters would never live in peace. Twitter?
Oh,
It was all her.
Asriel.
Asriel, you have to warn the others. Is there blood behind her? The pink trait, a bête noire. The soul of fear. And that's Betty being possessed. Oh, that makes it so much worse. So Betty is the weapon, and that's the soul doing it. So it's literally her. Is she a doll or is she an actual person possessed by this? Oh, what is her name then if it's not really much Betty? Oh. Fear, of course. I wish to be the one to reveal the big surprise. Oh well, not like it matters. I already obtained all the information I needed. Oh, that is getting creepier every time. Let's go. That's it. And she has the gray heart cracking, and she's fine with this. He's special, Asriel. Because he previously had the same power as Kara. And if I take it, Uma is hungry. Oh, okay, so if she's referencing Akuma is hungry, then that's probably not being controlled by her, unless she's talking to herself in the third person. I don't know which one is real or which one would be more creepy. What? Purple? Fear! Illusions. Asriel, move. Can't hear you. He's trapped in an illusion. Don't worry. Can she give it to other people? Oh, she can just make things out of fear. Of course she can. I'll make it quick. Rip the soul right out of him. No! Oh, that's not good. They even have his dialogue box degrading? You son of a bitch! Oh, and the little floating effects. Enjoy the future form. Does Gaster feel? He was directly connected to Sense, wasn't he? And he still has access. But he's also not in any shape or form to fight right now.
Asriel.
Warn the others. Get out, yeah. Going his way out. Alright, Kumu. We'll get him later. Oh, so then that's the weapon, and this is what she found. So it's probably actually Akuma or Kumu that... That makes sense. So this is actually the older monster that the previous holder had, and this is the weapon she made to work with it, probably. And if they can change their soul... then they're literally a monster-human hybrid. That's why it's pink, because half their soul is a monster, which is white. That might be the mix. Yeah, get him. I won't need that hate substance, Jessica. Where did she get that? Probably from herself. It said I'd keep it. I think you misunderstood. Yeah, she's dead. I wasn't asking. Please, Mom, give me the hay file. And she's just going. It's fear. You look like you've seen a ghost. Fear of the dead. Yeah. Well then. Oh, fucking A, man. You just... Don't worry. I'll keep my promise. I'll turn all those monsters to dust. And you can literally just hear her screaming as she's being devoured. That's why it was fine for her soul to crack, because they're just going to eat it anyways. Okay, so that happened. I'm unfortunately right about Betty being kind of fucked up, and she just seemed way too sus. And no, she was. Illusions are a bitch when no one's expecting them. Because Asriel got away, as long as he can tell someone in the next episode, that will honestly make them a lot more powerful. Well, to fight against. They'll have knowledge that they can be illusions, so if they see it, they might know. On the other hand, those illusions are working on more than just sight, so they're not as weak as possible ones. They oft freaking sans. And that's one hell of a way to start the season, because the last episode is just way too much of an intro. This feels like where it was actually starting, that everything prior was a prologue. And I have mixed feelings about it. On the one hand, holy fuck, they killed Sans in the second episode of the season. On the other hand, that is a very brave narrative move, because it very much says anyone can die, but it also says anyone can die, which is very hard to get right, because you either do one of two things. You do it well, and you always have that tension, so when someone survives, you feel it. Or you just make character death absolutely meaningless, in which case it doesn't matter. You don't become attached to the characters because you know they're going to die anyways. It's like Game of Throning it. It depends on who you talk to there, how this works so well for some people or not. It's like everyone can die, so don't care about them. They're going to die as soon as you like them. Or anyone can die, so you better care about them before they go away. This, I don't know which side that's going to fall on yet. The only one who really shouldn't is Frisk, just because they were more or less established as a main character by the game it's from. But the exception being in Season 1, she was a secondary character to Sans in many ways, as well as Asriel. Those three together kind of formed a triumvirate of main characters, or triagonists. I'm not sure if that's actually the word. I know duagonist is a thing, but whatever. If all three of them went, that would be kind of like okay, well, let's move on to the minor characters, see if anything happens. And it's possible, but you got to establish a lot more characters at that point. And you probably could move on to Gaster as one of those. But I don't think they're at that point right now. They might get there by dragging in other characters who could take the place when the main characters die, because shit is still real. I don't know if it's going to go that way. I don't know if it even would be a good choice to go that way. But I am very curious to see if they can live up to the promise the show made by saying, anyone can die, and here's probably one of the most loved characters in the entire franchise dying. If they can hold it off, great. If they can't, this is just going to be suffering for suffering's sake. I don't know which one it is, and I want to edge on the side of caution, because I'll trust them. I'll trust that this show is good. A lot of people recommended it and seem to really like it. I'm going to trust that this is probably well done. So basically what I'm saying is I'm going to go watch the next one now, and I'll see you guys in a week, because I'm not waiting, God damn it. And I'll see you guys then. Adios.